on. I need to see it. Come on, you fucking thing. I'm gonna have to edit this out because I'm sure it's recording some of it, but I need to be sure.
It's recording on my end.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I hate when it does this to me.
Well, you just gotta edit the video. That's fine.
And welcome back to your favorite weekly sports show, ladies and gentlemen. It is ITC Sportsball, and I am your man Jerome Spann. And of course, we have got the usual suspects in the building. We've got that hot take spitter, the man that rips like Darrell spits. He is that man.
Before I say this, go ahead and get your glasses because I'm gonna be shining all day, baby. You know it's your boy Mase. We out here. Lights.
Oh, and for those of you that aren't on YouTube watching us here, Mase has got the light set up in his room and he's feeling extra crispy today. He's out here shining, baby, shining bright like a diamond. But yes, of course, we've got that resident troll of ITC, that dude that comes in throwing gas on the fire. He say, fuck yo couch. He is that man, Darrell.
I'm here to break dreams, put people in the matrix, and shout out to Kobe for taking sucker punches. Shout out to him. And Conor McGregor is, man, he's running things.
Also, we're starting early.
Yep, we're gonna start early. And I'm gonna beat everybody in 2K22. Putting that out there right now. Low elo janitor is gonna put people to sleep. Here you go. That's it. That's what I'm gonna do.
So we're starting early today, man. We're starting right away with the bullshit. Okay. So you see this? You see the first off, Darrell done pulled out his red hat early, ladies and gentlemen. He had to defend his man's Kobe Covington. You know how much he loves Kobe, bro. That's his guy right there. Okay. So he has to defend him. So we might as well start here since he wanted to do this. For those that didn't see, over this last week, Jorge Masvidal has been charged in his attack on Kobe Covington that took place in a restaurant, and simply because Kobe Covington was out here talking reckless about this man's family, especially his kids. So Mase, I know we already know who Darrell is siding with here. It's pretty clear he pulled out his red hat early today, ladies and gentlemen. And so
need a red hood. I put a red hood on, you know.
Oh God. Jesus. Oh man. So Mase, as I told Darrell here earlier when we were conversing about this, hey, look, man, you talk greasy about somebody's family like that. Yeah, don't be mad when they lay their hands on you. Plain out and simple. Especially you talk about somebody's kids or their wife, right? You don't do that stuff. And I understand you trying to promote a fight, but once you cross the line with a man, you know, what am I supposed to say to you?
Unless you're Rafael Cruz, then
wait. He's not a man. He's a slug of a human.
Yeah, he's a lizard person too.
Oh, here we go.
But yeah, hey, bro, you say something. I ain't got kids, but if you say something greasy about my future children, I still gonna Spartan kick you in the chest. Why you eating it? Why you taking a bite out of your steak? I don't care. Huh? Say, bro, that's so crazy to me, dude. Like, it's one thing to talk about a dude greasy because you want to promote a fight. It's another thing. Like who made it cool to start talking about people's kids and family? Like who was that? Was that Connor? Was he the one that made it cool?
But here it goes. I'm gonna give the same example. John Jones was talking about Daniel Cormier's wife.
I didn't say that was right.
Yeah, damn man.
I didn't say that was right.
So Cormier has the right outside of the UFC.
Yes.
Whoop Jones' ass, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't keep his family out of it.
But you will literally beat their ass. You will literally go ahead and do the whooping. You're not gonna go ahead and sneak sucker punch him.
Oh, I'm sneaking you.
No.
Which part of when I told you earlier? Which part of if you talk about especially my daughter, if you talk about her and you in the same room with me, you better not take your eyes off of me, dog.
I'm not giving you 3 free hits and run away. I'm not doing that.
First off, the first hit I give you probably ain't gonna be no punch. I'm gonna probably pick up a chair or a plate if I'm in a restaurant and smack you over the head. What?
Then on top of that, I'm not gonna self-snitch on myself before and after it.
Hey, you know I'm not with that, Darrell. You know I don't believe snitches get stitches. And this man, look,
but he did it to himself.
The internet has made a lot of people into self-snitches. Okay. We see people get away with stuff all the time, and then they get on the internet and say something. Then 2 weeks later, you see this dummy was arrested for self-snitching on camera.
So, like, I treat it as the Stewie, where's my money, Brian situation. You're never gonna know, and I'm just gonna pop up. And then where's my money?
But that's what he did. He popped up and said, we don't need to have any more words. You know what it is.
Stewie's more gangster than Jorge Masvidal right now.
Nah, stop. You stop.
Listen, like I said, bro. Like I said, dog. If we in the same restaurant and you've been talking greasy, I promise you, my boy. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you with a plate.
That's the problem. He was
like, bro. I'm gonna sip my wine. Actually, you know, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take you out. What? People really be out here thinking that grown adults will not take you out for talking about their family just because Rafael Cruz out here just let Donald Trump call his wife ugly, his dad criminal, and then proceeded to kiss his ass for the next 4 years. Hey, bro, don't think Rafael is the model in this interaction. We don't do that around here. That's not how we interact in that situation.
And I'm not saying that Kobe isn't wrong. He is wrong for talking about someone's kids and family and stuff. But at the same time, like how I see it as, he was saying this stuff leading up to the fight between y'all two, and you didn't do nothing. He literally dominated you. You didn't throw a punch that was even he threw one punch that probably mattered, but he just shook it the hell off. But at the same time, like, you had 25 minutes to do your job. You didn't do your job. Now after that, now you have to face charges as a felony, and you turn yourself in.
Hold on. Just because I fought you for 25 minutes, and if I didn't get the finish, that don't mean it's over. What you mean, bro? Hold on. That means it's still on site. It's on site still. Like, until I get my.
Is it really on site if you can't beat the person?
Hey, look. Sounds like you beat him to me.
Listen, nobody cares why you fought or how the fought took place. All they care about is who won. And if I sneak you because you've been talking shit, hey, you lost.
But what if he didn't fall on the ground?
It don't matter, bro. Okay, so he did fall on the ground, and then he was a bitch and pressed charges.
No, he didn't press charges. Kobe didn't press charges at all. It's the state. No matter who.
In fairness to Covington, he didn't press charges. He wasn't on some like, nah, nigga, I wanna put him in jail. He was kind of like, it is what it is. But the state, like Darrell said, is there like, nah, bro, you can't just be going and wilding in public places like this. So we're not going for that. You can't be doing that.
Okay.
Well, he might not be of the right persuasion to do that. You know what I'm saying?
He might be a little too melanated for that.
It is still Florida. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. It is still Florida.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, Darrell, look, I'm not for necessarily sneaking somebody, right? That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, my dude, if you gonna talk greasy about me, you should, anytime we in the same city, in the same vicinity, you should maybe have your head on a swivel, right? If you're going to talk greasy about my family, because I don't care. Look, hey, hold on. Think about it this way. When Khabib finished Conor in the cage, was it done then?
No, Dylan Daniels running his mouth. That's what happened. He jumped up to the cage.
Okay, other people ran their mouth, right? But when he beat Conor's ass, was he done with that then? Nah. What did he say after the fight? He was disappointed. He wanted to beat his ass some more. That's what I'm saying. So even if they fight in the cage and you knock the other dude out, it may not be what you wanted. You
but what's the difference between Khabib and Conor versus Jorge and Kobe? Khabib was having his family getting disrespected by Conor, and he finished the job. Jorge didn't finish the job.
True. But I'm gonna just tell you this, that when we talking about your boy Conor McGregor, since you brought him up too, he's lucky, okay, that Dustin Poirier, as he was sitting on the ground with that broken leg, didn't come kick that man in his mouth for what he was saying. Because if I was Dustin Poirier, I'd have jumped back on top of him. You want to say some greasy stuff like that? Oh yeah, cool. You on the ground with your broken leg? Cool. There to raise my hand. Let me come finish you off. Then you want to keep talking? Okay, then why? This is what I'm saying, bro. They are still men. Those are men. You are not gonna keep talking greasy like that. I'm sorry.
Well, Kobe said the same thing to Dustin, and Dustin doesn't want to fight him. So what's the difference? It doesn't matter.
That's because Kobe Covington's ass, he would say anything in the fucking world.
He's telling another man that your freaking wife is a prop and your daughter ain't your daughter. I don't know how much motivation you need to whoop someone's ass. I'm sorry.
Hey, look. Hey, that's between them, bro. But all I'm saying is dudes like Conor McGregor to be talking greasy like that are lucky that they're not dealing with some real ones like that. Because I'm just simply saying, all I know is when Conor dealt with that real dude who was fighting the damn bears as he grew up, he was over there. Ah!
That's still the wildest shit to me. Why would you talk greasy to a dude that fought a fucking bear? That is so wild, bro. I don't care what size the bear is, how old the bear was. You as a person fought a bear, and this is one you decide to talk greasy to. If anything, you like, hey, bro, have a good fight. Keep it clean.
And not just fought a bear, Mase. Did this regularly, wrestling around with the bear on the regular. It was like a pet for the house.
You remember, that video of that little girl punching the tree into oblivion, bro? She got it from Khabib.
Yo, I guarantee you right now, she ain't gonna do no type of MMA. I guarantee you.
No, somebody gonna hire her as a trained killer. But if you don't you understand? When they see you have that animal in you that young, they're like, we're gonna get you in the right program, baby.
Right, we're gonna take all your videos off of YouTube, and you're gonna disappear from the world, and hey, you're gonna pop up to fucking punch a nigga's chest out.
Hey, that's young Valentina right there. Leave her alone. That's young Valentina right there.
Hey, if you told me that Valentina Shevchenko came from a Black Widow program, I would be like, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay. At the end of the day, I wish Amanda Nunes had that same energy, but she doesn't.
He goes, bro. He goes.
Hey, he always got to take his shots. Hey, at least he consistently takes his shot every chance. You crack the door open, he kicking that bitch in.
Yeah,
yes, correct.
Never put a bet on her ever again. She's not even going to win the second fight.
You cursed her by putting that bet on her. That's what it was. You cursed her.
No, I didn't curse her. I know she's not built for 135. She's a heavy girl. She's going to be 145 and plus. You don't cut that much weight. That tires you out. You should know this.
Well,
that's like telling Derek Lewis to go to freaking middleweight.
Come on. Stop. That's like telling Derek Lewis to go to light heavyweight. Calm down.
Johnny Hendricks, bro. That dude cut a shit ton of weight to get down to welterweight.
Hey, look, that's because Johnny.
Hendricks. Yeah, that's another one.
Bro, Hendricks
was 170. He was 170.
He used to cut like 50 pounds or some shit.
Yeah,
like that.
And then he tried. And after that, he tried to go even lighter than that. And then
because he was so tiny. If he tried to fight dudes that had his actual weight,
if he tried to fight middleweight, he would have got fucking stomped out.
Hey, we seen what happened to Hooker.
I don't know why
he went
you
down
had to bring
too.
that up. I don't know why you
He
had to
went
even
down
bring that
too.
up. That's
I'm gonna-
unnecessary.
Hey, I got the length. I got the power. I can beat these little small fries and then got chipped up by one.
Hey, look, well, Hooker was never that dude like that, though. That's why he was never that. But regardless, since we out here talking about people saying real reckless stuff, might as well talk about Darrell's boy Urban Meyer here. We're giving you Urban Meyer around here. We're giving you Urban. Okay.
You're just throwing all these bad people on me. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing this. No claim to that man. No claim.
How does Urban keep popping up? How does he keep popping up on the wrong end of these conversations?
Oh man.
Oh,
See,
bro, that's nuts.
See, this is what happens with Karma. He just cuts himself out. He just cut himself out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's gonna say, oopsie.
Hey, kiss my ass. Okay. Kiss my whole ass. Okay.
Hey, the ghost of Urban Meyer came to get your ass.
No, man, it's just, you know what? Honest to God, look, so I have the buttons. I'll give you a little secret, right? So the buttons are on my side of my mouse, and the one that takes me back, I grab that, and yeah, that was no good. No bueno. But regardless, okay, look, like we were saying about Urban Meyer, I have to ask you a question, Mase. How much of an asshole do you have to be to not know who Aaron Donald is?
Man, at this point, I just think Urban Meyer, he got to be whoever. This got to be a troll job. This has to be like it's got to be. I'm sorry. I don't care. As a football coach who wants to coach in the NFL, I think you need to have you have to have an understanding of personnel, especially of the teams you're going to be playing against. Like there's a few guys in the NFL who you should know who they are, who their jersey number is, their names, and what they're capable of. Or I'm sorry, bro. If you sit here and tell me you don't know who that guy, that number 99 on the Rams is, that guy seems like he's pretty good. Huh? Seems like he's pretty good. He's about to ruin your whole day. So
in reporting done by The Athletic here, that was done by Jason Sinks and Mike Sandow. Okay, I think I might have just butchered both of their names, if you want me to be honest with you. But he has quotes like and this is from DJ Chark, who played under him. He said he feels like threats are what motivates. I know he would come up to us and tell us if the receivers weren't doing good, he was going to fire us. He was going to fire our coach. He would usually say that when the coach was around. I have one question. If you was working for Urban Meyer and he was talking to you like this as a coach, are you just fighting him? Like, we had this discussion before, Mason, when we found out about some of the stuff that he was doing with his coaches, right? So is you just fighting him at this point now? Right?
Yeah, you got to see me, bro. I'm sorry, though. Like, regardless of if you think I'm performing at my job or not, to sit here and think that you have the power to fire me, nah, my boy. That ain't that ain't your decision. And two, I'm grown just like you are, dog. Like, it's fine to get on me in film sessions because I may be missing an assignment or I half-assed a route. Cool. I deserve it at that point. But to run up on me and try to fear monger me into playing better, nah, bro. You got to see me. Imagine what he was doing to these colleges. Like, when are we gonna get the story from Zeke about what Urban Meyer was like at Ohio State? You know what I'm saying? Zeke, hit us with the facts. We need it. At this point, we need it.
Darrell, are you fighting him?
There's always a dark space on the side of the stadium. That's all I'm gonna say.
You don't even need it. You got offices there. You can be like,
hey, there's always that one office that there's always that one office that nobody ever really uses. The lights are always out.
All that's in there is a water cooler and a trash bin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's gonna turn into like Stone Cold Booker T supermarket in there, and that's what's gonna end up.
but man, this is nuts to me, bro. Like this is another, and we wonder why Tim Tebow got a shot on that team because he was the only player that he knew.
I just
wonder why
understand
Tebow got a shot. He was like, bro, is Tim Tebow available? I heard that guy's still pretty good.
I don't understand the disrespect. Like, why keep continually doing this and then making a bad name for yourself? Like, there's no consequences. That's the problem.
Well,
he can say all this shit and he just has no consequences behind it. That's the only thing. But as a man, you know you're going to deal with the consequences eventually, and there's just no like type of sense to actually understand that. I think he's just delusional at this point.
Well, I think this is product of a belief that I've always carried, right? Which is that college coaches can come to the NFL and be successful, right? It is something that happen, but the ones that are like super successful college coaches, those are the ones that struggle when they get to the NFL. And the reason why that is the case is because once you're at the level of like being an Urban Meyer or something, right? You're the head of you're Roman Reigns. You're the head of the table. This is dictatorship around here. When I say goes, okay, nobody questions my word. Okay, my word goes, period. You don't ever question it. We do what I say. Everything I say is our religion. That works very well when you're around, 17 to 22-year-olds, right? And they're still young and able to shape their minds. And they're worried about their scholarship being gone and stuff like this, right? They have all these exterior motivators that keep them in line. Right now, you get to the NFL, you can't do that shit with some grown adults that have a union that bargains with the owners.
Not only that, they have guaranteed dollars in their contracts, bro. They're at this point, they're like, listen, dog, my money's gonna be straight. Talk to me accordingly.
And on top of that, there's maybe one coach in the league right now that makes more than like a decent player that got to his second contract. So it's like, you can't talk to me like you just over me. These are grown men with jobs and families too. This is their job. This is their professional livelihood. They're not going to just take you talking crazy. That's why certain guys like an Urban Meyer type, which something me and Mase told y'all when this first happened, we were like, we don't think this is going to go well because this isn't first off, even outside of all the stupid, crazy stuff he did, his temperament alone was not going to allow him to last long in the NFL. No. It just wasn't going to work. I mean, think about it. For all the hype that Kyle Shanahan gets, right? And I think Sportsball as a whole show would agree that he's a good coach. If you look at his record, I mean, he's barely over 500 as a head coach. And we know the
best redeeming quality of Shanahan is that he's found a way to beat teams in his division.
Yep. And so it's like when you look at these things, I wonder what the hell Urban Meyer was even thinking. Why would you, like, at some point, I get that you thought you would come in with some type of cachet, but I figured just being reasonable enough in your own mind, right, to be honest with yourself, you would figure out quickly that your cachet that you had in college football means piss all when you come to the league. It don't mean nothing to these guys.
Probably the average age of his players in college was what, maybe 19, 20?
Yeah, you're between 17 to 22, really.
And then in the NFL, for the most part, unless you are a team like the Jags, who probably is on the younger side, a lot of times your average, like these dudes are 27, 28, and for all of us, our mental, the way we handle things at 20, it was definitely not the way we handle things at 28. At 20, a lot of stuff slid that wouldn't slide at 28. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're dealing with a more mentally mature individual and trying to treat them like children because you've had success treating, for all intents and purposes, grown men like children because hey, at 18, every state says you're an adult.
Yep. Facts. So I don't understand Urban Meyer's whole philosophy in handling things this way. It's just, at this point, the most disgusting part I think about all of this, right, is that everything that's been reported, just like I do, that in a year or two, when some college team gets desperate enough, they're going to come knocking at Urban's door and saying, "What's up, Urban? What's up?" So we'll see what happens here. If any, look, he'll never have another job in the NFL, right? We know that, plain and simple. But whatever college team hires him, just be prepared. We're gonna be clowning yo ass.
You know what? I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it right now. I'm gonna give you the team right now. If Dabo doesn't have Clemson back in the
stop.
Hear me out, bro. If he don't have them back in that national title contention within the next 2 years, I can see it.
Hey, Mase.
They're gonna get desperate, bro. Because you got to think about it. They had such a meteoric rise to being a national power that they probably got drunk on power, and they're gonna see like if Dabo can't get this shit going.
But you're forgetting one important thing.
What?
Who the hell was Clemson before Dabo? Dabo is like he's going to get the Bobby Bowden treatment, where once you're ready to go, baby, you can go.
I don't think he's going to get that. Not in the way.
Clemson was a laughing stock before he did anything with them. They were a joke.
I'm telling you, bro, like I just feel it in my bones, bro. Clemson is going to try to get rid of if he can't get that team back to competing for national championships within 2 to 3 years. Like if they're not a consensus top 5, top 4 in that playoff picture, I think they're going to get desperate and think that they're going to go back to that to being the clowns of the ACC again, and don't get desperate, bro.
Here's like I said, here's what you're forgetting. Those Clemson fans, they know what they are. See, that's what you're discounting, Mase, right? Like, see, you're viewing it from your prism as a Texas fan, right? When y'all have this weird thing where y'all didn't realize how good you actually have it. Right, like when you had that long run of having great teams that were winning at least 10 games, you didn't realize how good you had it, and you were complaining about it. Clemson fans, they smarter than that. Look, there's some simple people down there in South Carolina. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to my people down in South Carolina. I still love y'all, but y'all, you know what it is, baby. Come on, dog. They know what it is. Come on, man. They look. They were the underdog, Mase. They finally got to get some championships, baby. They happy they got there and got to have a moment. They get to live on that moment for the next 30-something years, bro. They ain't worried. No, Mase, are you fucking crazy? Go back and look at Clemson's history beforehand. Okay,
I'm telling you,
were
bro,
a joke.
like it just feels like the situation, like it could just get out of hand. And Dabo,
baby.
or you never even, or my second, somebody could go in and swoop up Dabo because there's some colleges got way more money than Clemson out there. All I'm saying, USC gave Lincoln Riley a blank check. I mean, there's a few other schools out there that can slide somebody a blank check.
True, that could happen where somebody could end up paying Dabo, but I think the shine's off of Darrell now. I think people kind of see that that might have just been one of those, it's a moment thing. And especially that he's not trying to necessarily play ball with the NIL stuff, right? Listen, we know, Mase, them big schools, if they willing to put out that check, that means that coach better have a whole lot of want to make this money work for him. And Darrell doesn't seem to have that. Like, he seems to still be on this, we need to not pay anybody but me and my coaches. We doing all the work. Like he's still on that mentality. So at this point, I don't see somebody coming to get Dabo just because it's a bad look, right? Because what'll end up happening is all the coaches that have been already playing ball with NIL stuff are going to be like, hey, do you want to go there where your coach doesn't even want you to get paid and thinks he's the only one that should get paid? Or just come over here. Where hey, it's the Death Row Records speech, right? Where it's like, hey, if you don't want your producer all up in the videos trying to take all the shine, come on over here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Dabo, he wants to shine. But there's guys like Lincoln Riley where Link is out here. He say, wait, I get to go to SC with all those people there that got all that want to see that football team be good.
Say less.
I'm in, baby. I'm in.
Say less.
But yeah, no, no team better hire an Urban Meyer. If you do it,
I mean, think about this,
waiting.
bro. Think about this, bro. Art Briles got an offensive coordinating job. Somebody is going. Urban is going to get another head coach. You know what I'm saying? As shitty as it sounds, as shitty as Urban Meyer is, he's going to get another job. I mean, there's always somebody who's going to be like, he could probably do way more good for us than the bad that's going to come with it. Somebody out there is going to say it.
Hey, it always starts off good. It just never ends that way.
You know what? There's probably somebody on somebody's school board right now trying to convince their president and athletic director to get on board with bringing Urban Meyer in right now. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But that's the madness of college football,
yeah,
right?
Darrell, get your man's, bro. He out here.
He's not my man's.
Goodness, Darrell. Oh, goodness. But I have to ask though, Mase. So we have been seeing some people moving up and down the draft boards here due to these pro days and also from what's happened in the combine. So from what you have seen so far in these in the pro days and in the combines, who do you think has benefited the most from these workouts?
Honestly, bro, I would say probably this sounds going to sound cliche, man, because what quarterback doesn't look good in their pro day? But I would say that
everybody does. Hell, Daniel Jones looked good in his.
But I would say like Malik Willis maybe, but at the same time, quarterbacks always look good. So if I was gonna pick somebody like non-quarterback wise, I'm really gonna have to go Jordan Davis of Georgia, man. You can't be that big and run that fast. You can't be 6'3", 6'4", however tall he is, and 340 pounds. He lost weight for the combine, and it mattered. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could probably still lose another 10, 15 and still be just as dominant. Honestly, man, as a Cowboys fan, I'll just throw this out there. If he makes it to 24 or whatever Cowboys pick is, I don't give a damn who on the board. If we got him, y'all remember Jerome's reaction to getting Justin Fields? That's going to be my reaction to picking up a Jordan Davis. Because I mean, listen, you want Micah Parsons to have a season comparable to his rookie season? Keep those offensive linemen from touching him. You know how you do that? Jordan Davis.
But let me ask you this though: could not counter you by simply saying the Cowboys' offensive line is getting worse by the year, and you're not in a position cap-wise to really replace guys in a consistent manner? So shouldn't you use a pick now while you have the chance where it's going to be a little bit earlier than hopefully what you project to see over the next few years when you say we don't need to go grab some offensive line to make sure that we're protecting our investment?
I would, like I said, I'm not gonna act like the offensive line isn't a need, but apparently the Cowboys have more faith in Terrence Steele than a lot of fans would be, because I mean we let Collins walk for free basically because we they think that Terrence Steele, who only counts like 850,000 towards the cap or something like that, is going to be a player worth it. But
well, couldn't you say this is part and parcel though to them giving Dak, Zeke, and Amari and the other offensive linemen all that money when they did?
It's definitely this offseason in particular definitely looks like we messed up with some contracts and some salaries, and we have to create some deficits for ourselves to climb out of this hole that we put ourselves in with bad contracts. So it definitely seems that way with Collins being the June 1 cut and them taking a used sock and empty bottle of Tide for Amari Cooper. It definitely seems like it's just a whole cap situation or whatnot. So if they went offensive line, especially an interior offensive lineman, I honestly wouldn't be mad.
Well, the reason I ask you is per WalterFootball.com, which is shout out to them. If you haven't ever checked it out, I know a friend of mine, Dirty Dave. I know he hates them, but they have a good point. They're usually pretty good at picking out players where they actually need to go for a team, real needs, where guys should end up being. But right now, them at the 24 pick have you picking Trevor Panning out of Northern Iowa. And their logic to this is that Tyron Smith can't be trusted, and he always seems to get hurt. Lyle Collins is gone, and Dallas suddenly needs a tackle very badly. Panning has massive size and good athleticism to go with it.
So I would counter. Oh, I'll let you finish.
No, so essentially, I was just going to say, I get where you're at looking at it defensively, but in a draft where you are, you can't trust Smith anymore, right? He'll be healthy for you. He'll look super healthy going into week 1, and then he'll be hurt by week 4. So you can't trust that. Don't you need to protect your investment at this point? Because look, if Dak if he does not play well, that team is going to fail, no matter how good your defense plays.
Like I get that, thinking that an offensive tackle would be the way to go early on, but if you're not projecting him to take somebody's starting position, I would feel more comfortable with an interior lineman to put on the inside of Smith. On his inside, I would take a Kenyon Green out of A&M because he has shown the ability to not only play on the inside as a guard, but he can swing out as a tackle as well and be effective. So I get the lineman logic, but if it was me knowing that I was going in drafting a lineman,
do you really want to start playing positional chairs with the fucking lineman now? That doesn't
no. It's not necessarily a positional chair. It's this Kenyon Green actually has proven himself to be really good as a guard or a tackle. So and nobody's saying Connor Williams was good. I'm glad he's gone off the team, but the glaring hole in our offensive line as of right now would be the guard position inside of Tyron Smith. I'm not just.
But how can you trust Tyron Smith? You can't.
I don't think you can. He's gonna miss some games. At this point, we know he's missing games. But to use the 24 on his backup, unless the Cowboys really believe Tyron Smith has nothing left and this is going to be the year that he retires, I don't think you can necessarily use your first round pick to be somebody's backup.
So would you say, so you're telling me right now with this coming up, you telling me if you pick the right person, so if you pick a tackle, you're telling me that you're actually going to make it?
No.
Or this is just like a throwaway year. I'm
not saying we're gonna make it or anything like that, but I'm saying that the two things the thing that leads me to believe that they think Steele is gonna be their starting right tackle is just a simple fact that they cut Collins. I mean, you don't cut that guy and then go into the draft and be like, we have to get a right tackle, or you can't draft somebody at that position to be a backup in the first round. Like nobody drafts somebody in the first round and expects them to be a backup except the Packers.
Wow.
But I have to ask Mase. I don't want to get stuck talking about your Cowboys. I know you'll go on all day talking about the damn Cowboys and how angry Jerry makes you and the moves that you want him to make that he's not going to make and just piss you off come draft time.
Jerry is best friends with Connor.
Which should be fun. Which, unfortunately, people, I was planning on trying to do a live draft, watch of the first round with here Mase, but he's going to be on a cruise over here trying to get fancy, so we won't be able to do that. So you won't be able to see the pain in his face as the Cowboys get to pick wrong and make him angry. So we'll have to put something together once he gets back, though, because Mase, he might be a little bit dark. Everybody, he might be darkness. Everybody, darkness. But regardless, I have to ask. So Mase, with everything you have said here, right? Do you feel like a team is going to end up reaching early for a quarterback? Do you see it coming? Because a lot of people right now don't have necessarily more than one quarterback going in the top 10 picks, right? But do you see one of these teams saying, "Hey, I believe in Malik Willis," or "I believe in Kenny Pickett," and say, "I'm going to go up here and go get him"?
I always believe that the Lions are going to be the Lions. So,
boy, the Lions just gonna line it up, baby.
Yeah, like the mock draft that we got in front of us right here, have them taking a receiver at number 2, which is like the most Lions thing that the Lions could do. But they don't really want Jared Goff. They don't want him. So
but the receiver could make sense if you're looking at it in a sense of saying we're gonna be bad again this year. Even if we draft a quarterback, right? We're gonna be bad again this year. So let's get somebody that when we get our quarterback in next year's draft, this guy can play with.
I get that part of it, but I think there are about 2 or 3 guys in this draft that you can't pass up on. Like I honestly cannot. I would be baffled if Kayvon Thibodeau made it past 3. Like that would just like completely blow my mind. I'm sorry, bro. Like you drafted.
So you think Thibodeau is the best player in the draft?
I do believe he's the best player. I think he's better than Aiden Hutchinson. He's better than any guard that you have or tackle that you have rated high. He's Evan Neal, all of them. Just Thibodeau. He is. There are some things you just can't teach a guy to do, man, and he's got it. He's.
If you really think he's that guy?
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right.
In this particular draft, he is that guy. He is, for me, he's the guy that's going to pay off for the team the most.
Okay, who do you project him to be then? If you had a comp, who would you comp him to?
Who would I comp him to?
Because see, what I'm hearing you say a whole lot, right? I'm hearing you really, really, really big up him. But I need to know, okay, so where do you think that his ceiling is? Who is it that you think he's going to come in and be impactful like they were off top?
I think his comp is, to me, in my opinion, would be a Dwight Freeney. He can.
I mean, that's high compliments.
That it is, bro. But if you got a chance to watch him in college, bro, you would understand. I mean, you got to think about it. He look at the guys that he went against, and people look who he went against in practice. He went against a dude that didn't give up a sack in 3 years for 2 of his college years. You know what I'm saying? Like he.
Uh-oh. There he is. There he goes.
I thought it was me. I thought it was me. I thought they
so
did
did
it
I.
again.
I was over here trying to look something up out of the back as he was talking, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! Did my stuff just freeze?" Oh,
yeah, man. I feel like he is the best player in this draft, and
so
I would.
that's high compliments, Mase. Dwight Freeney. You're talking about somebody who had 125 sacks in his career. You're talking about a guy who was exclusively known for hitting you with a move that was, almost felt unguardable for a lot of guys in the NFL. So you think he's going to be Dwight Freeney? That's quite interesting that you believe he is going to be that level of impact on
Because he has the speed to hit anybody on the edge, and if he can incorporate that inside swim or that spin, I think the sky's the limit for the kid, bro. I feel like he's that good because he already has the step to beat any tackle off the edge.
That's fair. So for me, I think the move I think that's going to surprise everybody is I personally think the Lions aren't going to go wide receiver. I think they're going to go quarterback, and I think they're going to go Malik Willis. They're going to fall in love with the hype, and they're in a situation to where they don't have to play him right away. There's no necessity for them to play him right away, right? Because he's not like you could put him out there. He could have one of the best rookie years we've ever seen, right? He could have Cam Newton level rookie year, right? And that team is not making the playoffs. Plain out and simple. It's just not happening. Even if the offense is that good, the defense is going to stink. Okay? They're going to be bad. So I think this is their time because I feel like wide receiver is always a position that you can hit on. And yes, this draft is extremely deep with wide receivers, but I think you're going
to be picking in the third round receivers who are going to have solid years for their teams. I
think receiver has proven, especially over the last 5 or 6 years, that you can get guys later in the draft that fall for whatever reason, right? Whether they had some injuries, whether it's in a case of someone like Tyreek Hill, who we're going to talk about him getting traded, to where he had the domestic violence stuff over his head. There's always going to be talented guys that fall in the draft. I mean, hell, Cooper Kupp was a third round pick, I believe, or something like that, second or third. So it's there's always going to be guys you can get talent wise at the receiver position outside of the first round. I just don't know if the way that the game is played now that you can afford to be in a position to where you have to play your quarterback year one when you have a rookie that needs development. I look at somebody like Zach Wilson, right? He had some moments last year, but there's something to the logic that I feel like it would have been better for him to sit for a year and be able to really learn the offense and learn what the NFL game is about and see how defenses are going to play you. Then him playing last year really helped him. I think him playing last year just put him in a position to where he always felt like he had to be Superman. And I don't know if that's necessarily good for the long-term growth of a quarterback, right? You want, especially a guy that doesn't even have that much experience playing against high-level competition. You don't want him to be in that situation. So I think the Lions are going to go quarterback. And if they don't, I think that would surprise me more than anything because they need to start looking to the future now to put themselves in a position to where they get a guy now when they don't have to play him and allow themselves to take a year, develop this guy. So when you get him in the next year, when you're planning on actually being much better, I think you're in a better spot to succeed then.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think if best case, if we're just speaking about Malik Willis, I think the best situation for him would be a Pittsburgh, just because of what they have around him already. They already have a run game and a defense. I think
so they can do it what KC did for a year and be looking at this dude in practice like, damn, he is way better than our starter.
Yeah, I think that would be like if for him specifically, for any of these quarterbacks, I think the best situation for them to walk into as a rookie would be Pittsburgh, simply because they're one of the few teams who are they're just solid. Even when we say they stink, they're still solid. You know, so it's so weird.
100%.
Pittsburgh's worst years are just solid.
You know what that is? That's coaching and a franchise that is actually dedicated to winning. That's what that is. The one thing, look, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the one thing you can never, ever say about them is that they're not trying to win. They're always trying to win. Even in years that you think it's supposed to be a down year, they're like, nah, baby, we trying to win. It's some view it to their detriment, right? But I think in the league now, that's going to actually end up working out for them, I think, long-term better, because we see now teams are way more willing to trade draft picks, right? We see that a lot of these GMs are viewing it like, look, I'm going to take a bird in the hand now than two in the future. Like, I'm cool. You can have them 2 in the bush. I'm going to take this 1 in the hand, plain out and simple. So I think that puts them in a position to where even if a quarterback comes up that they like in this draft, say they want a Malik Willis, right? They have the draft capital to turn around and say, all right, well, we'll go get this guy. We'll move up this year. And then next year we'll keep drafting solid on top of solid on top of solid. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. I think that would be the perfect place for him.
But I will say in this draft, the most interesting player who I'm waiting to see where they fall is going to be Kyle Hamilton, because nobody should really take a safety like in the top 5, 6, 7. But if there was any time to do it, I think this is the kid that you should probably take your chances with. It's crazy because he's not the fastest, but he's always in position. But
is that product of who they're playing?
I don't think so, bro. I think because for as underwhelming as Notre Dame usually is, they still do try to put teams on their schedule that gives them the whole, maybe if we win a few of these games, then Notre Dame is still Notre Dame. So I think the competition is there for them and for him to prove that he's a top guy in the draft. But it's kind of hard to say I'm gonna use my top 8 pick on a safety. Like it's rough. Because if he go wherever he goes, man, I do think he upgrades the secondary, but I just don't see a team in the top like 7 or 8 picking him, even though they maybe should.
Oh, word? You sure? You sure? You know, there's one team.
Like I said, I don't
that has 2 picks in that top 8 that loves to do some wild stuff. I'm just saying. They said Daniel Jones is our guy, and they got 2 picks in that top 10. Mase, you sure?
I don't think they will. We talking about the old New York Football Giants.
Woo!
I think the Giants are going to they're going to surprise some people with their picks. I guarantee. I really feel like they're going to go 2 defensive players. I think they are going to maintain their reservations about Daniel Jones and just kind of let it ride, and they're just going to try to.
They can have 5 picks and it still won't help that team.
I just think they're going to go defense with both of their picks, though. I really feel like they will let Daniel Jones in the offense be, because and maybe try to figure the offense out next year. But there's just too many like solid defenders in this draft for them to pass up on. I really feel I have a strong feeling that they're going defense with both of those picks.
Let them get them picks. Let them change those guys' lives. Give them some new money. Call it a day. Because that's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I brought it up there, Mase. I have to ask. So the Chiefs did that. For those that didn't see it, the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill for quite a few picks there from the Dolphins. I have to ask a two-pronged question here to you, Mase. So one, is this a put up or shut up year for Tua? And two, do you feel like this move makes Kansas City better long term?
So to get on the Tua, it has to be, because one thing we need to still remember is that the Dolphins have 2 first-round picks in next year's draft. Meaning, whoever their
GM is a genius for getting all these picks.
Excuse me. Which means that they could very well be in the Bryce Young sweepstakes if Tua turns out to he just can't get it done. So I mean, like I said, he may have played the long game in this, but it's the right game to play, because instead of doing what the Cardinals did and just eating the cap and scrapping your quarterback, they're riding it out there, giving this guy every opportunity he can to prove either he is or isn't the guy, and they've done it in a way to set them up to bring the guy in once his contract runs out. So I mean, it's genius. It's completely genius, man. So this is definitely a put up year for Tua. They have given him everything he could want. He's gotten offense. He's gotten help in the offensive line. He's gotten some running backs. Hell, you've given him a track team who actually have some football skill on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the thing I'm concerned with, this move, Mase, that concerns me, Tua doesn't have a strong arm. So are you going to get the maximum out of these guys, man?
But doesn't that also lead to the point of teams like he may, like, at maybe week 1, week 2, he may be like max out his arm strength and give you a few bombs, and then that might open up the medium, that might open up Gesicki, that might open up the 10 to 12 yard, the 10 to 15 yard routes, those in cuts, those curls, things like that. Those might get opened up more just because of the fear that you could put somebody in by hitting Waddle or Tyreek Hill in the seam, and they just outrun everybody on the defense. So I think that might put the fear in teams enough to let Tua have the underneath success. But ultimately, I think this is just a masterful plan by the Dolphins to go grab a like I said, there's a few. There's Bryce Young and maybe like 2 other, and the Stroud from Ohio State, and maybe like 1 or 2 other guys, top quarterbacks that are going to be in the draft next year. That I guarantee you, the Dolphins find some kind of way to finagle their 2 draft picks into a top 3, and go grab a quarterback who they think can maximize that offense out.
And I think, honestly, the bigger move, if he stays healthy too, is getting Armstead. My lord, that offensive line was terrible last year. Like, they were god awful. Now, a lot of people are predicting Armstead moving to the right tackle because of Tua being a lefty. I don't see that. I see them just saying, no, we need to secure up this whole thing. This whole thing has been bad, so we need to secure it all. But that offense, look, man, Tua, you got to prove it this year, my guy. It's you either prove it or you're gone. Like Mase said, they will end up packaging something and moving on from you, because at this point, they're giving you all the tools. You have a really good tight end who's probably actually a little underrated in Gesicki, right? He makes a lot of good catches for them consistently. Like you say, you got Waddle, you have Hill. Don't they still have Fuller too?
They still have Fuller.
They kept him, so they still have Fuller.
You might get 10 games out of him, but hey,
and
another guy to stretch the field.
And then you have a good running back too. So you have all of these things around you. Now they can afford to spend the rest of their draft capital basically trying to sew up the offensive line and get, fill in some pieces here or there where they need it. But again, Tua, you gotta prove it this year, my boy, because if not, man, you are gone. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Even without him having a super strong arm, I think he can be a quarterback you can win with. I don't think he's one of those win because of guys, but I think he's a guy you can win with, right? Like that's Matt Ryan for his career, right? Matt Ryan is not a win because of guy, but he's most definitely a guy that you can win with if you have a good roster around him, which I think was brilliant, a brilliant move by the Colts here, getting him. We'll talk about that in a minute here because I still want to give you a chance to talk about KC, but certain guys you can just win with him, and that's okay. Not everybody has to be the win because of guy, right? But I think at this point, Tua, you got to at least prove that you can be the win with guy because they've given you enough at this point. We can't say that they've given you enough. Defenses, like Mase said, defenses are just going to have to play you different now, plain out and simple, because, hey, you got two guys who were both of them on even off coverage, you're worried about them running by your defenders. So it should be a better year from him, but we will see on this. But like I said, Mase, as far as KC goes, how do you feel about this move, knowing that now they've traded one of their bigger weapons, right? That offense for the most part was Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, right? They've maintained guys like Hardman, Josh Gordon, and all the other guys that they pretty much had outside of Kringle, who I think is a good move by the Bears picking him up. I think he's going to work well within the offense that they're trying to present. But how do you feel about the Chiefs making this move, knowing that they let go of the Honey Badgers? So they've got issues on the defense. They lost Ward on the defense too. They've got issues there. Now they've weakened their offense a little bit more with getting rid of Tyreek Hill. Do you feel like this is a better move for them long term, or should they have just kept trying to ride this out and see if they could get another Super Bowl out of the current unit that they had?
I do think this was it makes sense, but it's strange given that everybody in their division is loading up. Mm-hmm. They're offloading as the team on top, while every other team is loading up. But I do think this will pay off for them simply because they do have some defensive holes that now that maybe they wouldn't be able to address. They can kind of address that pretty much in this draft. They can find their fits because you have two back-to-back picks. That in and of itself right there. They have 29 and 30, I believe, back to back.
Yes, they have 29 and 30, which Walter Football currently has them projected as picking Christian Watson and then Andrew Booth Jr. But I think the Watson pick is off base there just because I don't see him lasting till then. I do see that being pretty accurate, but I don't see Watson lasting.
I see them taking one of those two guys because those two have been projected to kind of be in that late first round, early second round range. So I do believe it's going to be one of those two individuals to shore up that cornerback spot. But at the same time, this also gives them a chance to, if they really wanted to, which I don't really think they need to, they could add a receiver to that room. But the way the offense is constructed, I still think they can run their offense. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to compare Hardman to Hill. Speed-wise, he can take the top off of defenses still. So they have that in their repertoire to make sure that Kelsey still gets his looks, his same looks. They don't have to change up what they want from him. They got a receiver with 3 names. Maybe he'll do better. Hey, man.
So tell me if I'm crazy on this. This is the way I see it going for the Chiefs. I see them going defense on both of those picks because before the draft, I see them signing Odell and bringing him in for a year and saying, we can kick the can down the road on the wide receiver thing until next year, right? We're good. We can do that next year. We can draft. And there's they view it in the sense I think that I view it, which is that there's always going to be good wide receivers in the draft. You got to pick the right guy for your system, right? Pick the guy who works best for what you're trying to do. So I see them signing Odell, but I see them reinforcing that defense with both of those picks because that defense was atrocious last year. they should have been the number 1 seed if not for how horrible their defense was. You could talk about all the stuff with Patrick Mahomes that you want, but like we pointed out to you here on Sportsball, if you look at his numbers were similar to his previous MVP year. So that means to me, Patrick Mahomes still balling his little ass off. But what really got worse was that defense. That defense went from being middle of the pack to basically being bottom 5 in the league for the majority of the year. So I think they have to reinforce the defense. I see them most definitely grabbing a corner, but I think they have to get a real pass rusher. Whether it is we got to package one of these picks and move up to try and go get one of these better pass rushers, or whether it's they stay there and they see that, hey, we got value on a guy that maybe not everybody else sees that can work with Chris Jones. Because at this point, all they have on that line to rush is Chris Jones. There's not another person on there that presents a threat at all. So they have to get some help there, because if you can just start pressuring other quarterbacks, right, you're going to force them into some bad throws. They're never going to be a shut you down defense. No. You need to be a team that can force offenses into some bad throws, because then that gets the ball back in the greatest weapon that you have, your offense's hands. And if you do that, you're going to have a chance to win. We know this. It's the rule of thumb, right? You can't give these great quarterbacks too many chances. Those win because of guys, the Mahomes, the Rodgers, the Bradys, the Russell Wilsons, the guys like that, right? And the Deshaun Watsons, we have to say it. You can't give those guys too many chances, because if you do, they're going to kill you.
And the good thing about the Booth Jr. pick is if they do go that route, he can play safety or corner. He's one of those guys who
yep.
Clemson just somehow finds like the most versatile weapons in the country. And
well, it's based off their scheme. It's because they've decided that their scheme says, if you're going to be our starting safety, you also have to be able to be a nickel corner. You have to. It's the shift that I think we're seeing just generally in football now, right? Which is that if you're going to be a safety, you also have to be able to guy that can come down and play man-to-man coverage and be a nickel corner, and that we can rotate somebody else back there that he's just better.
Yeah, so they could technically go 2 corners here and still not crowd that room, because like I said,
yeah,
Booth Jr. can take that Tyrann Mathieu role where in their base he could be a safety, but once they start rolling out their nickel and dime packages, he could slide down to one of the nickel corners, or he can move to the outside, either or you can go take another cornerback who's projected to play strictly outside alongside of him. So, I mean,
because we know Spags is going to scheme it up. We know that.
He's
gonna scheme some shit up.
Yeah, he's in the lab cooking some stuff up right now. He's probably beating down the GM's door like, please give me 2 dudes in the secondary that can run. Hey, they're big and they can just give me 2 athletic freaks and I will figure this out.
Yeah. So Mase, while we're wrapping up here with this NFL coverage, I have to ask, what's the Colts' ceiling? Now that they have a quarterback that we know, in the circumstances that are being presented to him there in Indianapolis, he should be able to succeed. So knowing that their defense is still, they'll probably have some fallback, right? Because when great defenses lose their coordinators, there's usually a little bit of a fallback, right? Whether it's you go from top 5 to now you're only in the top 10 or top 15, right? There's always a little bit of a fallback. But defense should still be good. That offense, we already know about the running game, right? We know exactly what they're going to be able to present there. But now they have a quarterback that isn't going to consistently put them at a disadvantage of turning the ball over and doing a whole bunch of this, just throw it up in the air with his eyes closed, So do you feel like their ceiling is potentially coming out of the AFC now, or do you feel like it's maybe capped a little bit lower than that?
I think it's capped lower than coming out of the AFC. But I do believe that they will provide some resistance to those AFC West teams who we just feel like have just entered a new stratosphere of talent given their moves. I do think the Colts is that one team that could take an AFC West team in the playoffs to the brink and potentially beat them, given what they can already do as a team. And now you give them a quarterback who's going to be careful with the ball. like I said, Matt Ryan's not going to be the reason you win, but he's definitely not going to be the reason you lose. So I could definitely see them maybe going and grabbing a receiver or a tight end first round in the draft and just kind of rounding out that offense to tell Matt Ryan, like, hey, bro, we're giving you everything you need. Our division's in shambles. I don't really see – I see Matt Ryan being maybe a top 5 quarterback in his division next year, as crazy as that sounds, given people might say he's washed or whatever, but I mean, this is the perfect situation for Matt Ryan. He has a great offensive line, which he hasn't had in a long time, and a run game, and you're talking about a guy who is very accurate with the ball and usually makes the right decisions. So,
well, let's talk about it, right? Even for as much as people want to knock him, with it being really Kyle Pitts and Patterson being the only true targets that he had last year, Matt Ryan still almost threw for 4,000 yards. He was like, 32 yards short of 4,000, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and he completed, 67% of his passes. And you're talking about on a team where it was highly dependent on Matt Ryan and Pitts and Patterson making plays for them. Now you're putting him in a situation to where he gets to turn around, hand it off to Jonathan Taylor 25 to 30 times a game and play action pass off of that. Oh man, that's
and not only that, he also has another threat in Hines out of the backfield as a pass catcher. So I mean, you can take some of those things that he did with Patterson last year and now implement that into your offense. If you're a good offensive coordinator, you're going to be like, hey, bro, there are some third down situations where we can really get some production out of Hines as a pass catcher out of the backfield, because Matt Ryan has shown that he can get his running back into the right route to take advantage of a defense that he sees. So hey, man, I'm confident in saying I'm confident in saying that they're gonna win their division, obviously, and I think they can pull out a top 3 seed in the AFC, given what this team already has, and I firmly believe that they're gonna add another offensive threat in this year's draft that's gonna make an impact for them.
I don't disagree. I think they're one of the teams that is going to benefit from this being a very wide receiver deep draft. Not only are they probably going to come out of this with a good wide receiver, but they're also probably going to get a good pass catching tight end, and that's going to help them out tremendously there on that offense. So I think the Colts are going to be a team that kind of caught people. You remember when Tennessee had their come up, right? And they kind of caught everybody by surprise. I think that's what's going to happen this year with the Colts, is that I think people are still going to have that picture of just them having no passing threat because of Carson Wentz. But when they see that they are going to have a real passing threat with Matt Ryan, who, listen, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Okay. But like I said, he's a guy you can win with. So you don't have to be a Hall of Famer to be a guy that a team can win with. Your team just has to be good enough. But all of this stuff I'm sure got a lot of your heads going, twisting around. We're talking all this draft, potential moves, all this craziness. But of course, that might be getting up under your skin a little bit. And you know who's got something for you that gets up under their skin each and every week, ladies and gentlemen? It is our guy. This is Mase's Madness.
Let me set the mood right before I hop into this, because I got a 3-pronged situation for you today. So,
oh Lord, the red lights! Watch out.
Here, man. Like I said, I got a few things I wanna reel off. I couldn't just bring it down to one. There's a few that just kind of got me going here today. So first, just tell you straight up, I am not that guy to send out on missions to get food if you're that person that has like these crazy orders. For instance, if you're that person that takes like a simple chicken sandwich and you want to add grilled onions and barbecue sauce and mustard on one side and Colby Jack cheese. I'm not that guy because I'm not going to check you to see if your food right. I'm going to give it to him one time. And if it's wrong, hey,
what
you should have came. You should have came too. That's all I'm saying.
Darrell, who set this man's fire?
Listen, you should.
Who got you angry?
You should have been there to check your food, cause I'm gonna tell you something. Like taking things off, that's one thing. But once you start adding, like you got like if you add more than 2 things to a burger from a restaurant, you need to be there to order your own burger. Cause I'm gonna tell you something.
I need to know who did this.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I have to stop this nonsense. First of all, you telling me if I have a burger, I say I want a rodeo burger, okay? I'm already expected to have the barbecue sauce, the onion rings, the cheese, and I said, you know what? I want some tomatoes and I want some lettuce. And you know what? I want you to put like some mushrooms, just etc. You're gonna get pissed off instantly.
I'm not gonna get pissed off. I'm gonna order it, but don't get pissed off at me when it don't come right, because I ain't checking shit.
I'm done.
I ain't checking nothing. Because you want to know the extent of me making adjustments to my meal? Add bacon or grilled onions. That's it.
What if you get regular raw onions? Then what?
Keep them raw, unseasoned, uncooked onions away from me. Boy, I'm gonna eat my sandwich, but I'm sick.
But you're not going to check it, so you're just going to bite right in.
Listen, bro, I'm sorry that I put more faith in restaurants to get my food right when I order it than I should.
Nah, Darrell, here's what he said. He said he's not checking your shit. His shit gonna be right. He don't give a fuck about yours, though, is what he's saying.
Okay.
Who did this? Who did this? I need to know. Who did this?
We're gonna get into all of that, but let me keep going because my fire is burning right now. So, like I said, this is gonna be a multi-layered topic today. So topic number 2 of things that just is whenever you have too much shit on your keychain. Let me tell you something.
Jesus Christ. What happened this week?
Someone had their life on their keychain.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to break it down to you the extent of what you should have on your keys. Obviously, vehicle, house key, maybe the mail key, maybe. But if your mail key isn't separate from your vehicle keys, I'm going to tell you right now, you are a psycho. Because every time you got to check the mail, you got to get out, cut your car off. You know what I'm saying? You're just a psycho.
Got the car keys. I got my house.
Not if you got the fob like me.
You got to have.
I mean, it just or you the janitor thing, like they got like the 800 key. That just
next time I'm at my mom's, I'm gonna show you. And wait till I show you one of her key rings. You are gonna lose your fucking mind.
That grinds my gears, but like having all that extra stuff, like if your keys can't comfortably fit in your pocket, throw the whole keychain away. Like that really grinds me up, man. Like your keys should not. Okay, cool. You got a little lanyard, whatever, cool. But if the keys themselves can't fit comfortably in your pocket, that just
what Mase is saying is that your keys should not look like a rapper's chain.
Hey, if mine want to look like a Cuban link, it's gonna look like a Cuban link.
That just really all this extra shit. Like, stop it. There's enough convenient things in this world to keep us from having too many keys on the keychain. There's conveniences out there to help with this.
hope his next one is about wallets.
All right, let him go. Let him go. Lay out for him. Hold on. I need to see where this is going and
This
how we
third
got
one, man.
here.
This third one, man. This one's a bit more touchy, man. I'm just calling it straight up. All you people getting mad at Leah Thomas, the transgender swimmer who won that first place, y'all need to shut the hell up. Because if we actually cover these events, you would know that she got dusted in 2 other events.
Preach.
Like it makes no, like, I get it, man. It's real touchy. It's a real touchy thing.
Clarify. You gotta clarify, and then I can agree with you. How did she get dusted?
She lost in two other swimming events
that were female or male.
Yes, female. Yes.
And I just want to throw, since Mase brought it up here, I was gonna kind of let it be because I had said my piece about this, but I'm gonna bring it up right now. For you dummies out here that still want to be mad, maybe understand the science of even what you're talking about. Because here's the science here for you, dummies. She has as much testosterone in her body. Actually, it's been proven through the testing, less at this point than the average woman that is competing in swimming at that level. So stop with your dumb stuff. And also, I just want to also remind all you guys, I didn't hear any of you complaining about people having unfair advantages when we found out that Michael Phelps has the ability to get more oxygen in his system than other people. And also that he had like webbed toes and feet, basically essentially helping him out with getting more traction in the pool. But I didn't hear anybody complaining about his unfair advantages though, right?
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Let me hop back on this soapbox because this is ridiculous. Like for a week straight, we had coverage of a particular women's event, not the sport, not the whole swimming event, a particular event, one sole event was on every news station possible. And y'all trying to tell me that we can't give women's sports the coverage like we do men's? Shut your ass up. Because once NBC, Fox, CNN, y'all all picked it up. Y'all all picked this one event up. Everybody picked it up. So, it's not like y'all don't have the capacity or the time slots to give women their just due in these sports. Y'all just found this one particular event offensive because a transgender, like if you're so concerned about a man transitioning over to a woman and having the ability to compete, maybe you should take a more scientific approach to your anger and maybe fund some of these NCAA organizations, give them the money and the backing to maybe, say transgenders maybe do have an unfair advantage because of the testing and the data and the science that we've gathered, instead of just going off of, it's a man. Like, instead of going off on those stupid rants, maybe make some educational guesses, maybe take this and actually come up with something to maybe give transgender individuals their own arena to compete in events, because you can still be an athlete and want to be a different sex. Maybe give them their own, if you're so concerned, maybe create avenues for them to compete with each other. Who knows? There may be more people coming out as transgender if they actually have an avenue to compete.
Yep.
And not feel ostracized because maybe they were once a man or maybe they were once a woman, and you somehow think that gives them an advantage, when obviously it didn't. When the 2 other events that she competed in, she lost. If you're going to sit here and say that she is so much more athletically gifted, she should have dusted the competition hands down. No,
should have been sweeps.
But should have been a clean sweep. She should have went in. She should have came out of that. And even in the events that maybe she didn't train in, y'all make it seem like that she could have went in, maybe swam a 1,500 meters, and maybe she's only a 300 backstroke. So maybe she could have went in and won the 1,500 because she's a man.
Hey, I just found it funny how many swimming experts all of a sudden came out of nowhere. When I'm pretty sure in this country, we only talk about swimming every once in like 4 years when the Olympics comes. So
it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me, man. Like I said, if you're so upset at a transgender individual competing in a sport that you don't think they are, maybe throw some of your money around, because I know you got it. Fund the NCAA creating events for them. Fund the scientific research to back your claims if there are any. If not, shut the fuck up.
I think it was more the women getting mad about that because
I seen plenty of grown ass men out here talking about this, and it was like, y'all some grown men and y'all really out here like this. Like, come on, bro. Look, we have owned the ITC brand, period. We stand for everybody just being able to live their life and be happy. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm right here with my man Mase on this. For all y'all that was so worried about this, that just shows me how sad and pathetic your life is. Seriously, that's all it is, that you were so worried about somebody else's situation that has nothing to do with you, no impact on your life whatsoever. Y'all just showed me how sad and pathetic your life is. And I'm sorry. If you don't feel that way, if you think I'm being harsh, think about it this way. If you really had something to actually be happy about in your life, would you really be worried about something that has no effect on yours?
I mean, and you get this whole humans are supposed to be man or woman, blah, blah, blah. Bro, have y'all not picked up a science book? Do you not understand a genetic anomaly? Do you not understand what that concept is? Do you not understand genetics in general? Like, it's a possibility that this can happen. And if you're so upset about this, like I said, you have the means, the money, the cachet, you have the public platform to be able to jump on your soapbox and create a platform for these individuals to compete. If you think it is such a bad thing that they are now competing with who you feel like is the inferior gender, because that's what it comes down to. You're like, oh, a man's gonna come in there and beat all these women. These women need some help. No, they don't. They were whooping their ass. They was whooping her ass. She won one event and got dusted in 2 more. Let's talk about that. Talk about her losses.
And I didn't understand why everybody was getting mad. When I seen that shit pop up, I was like, yo, why y'all mad again? Y'all fighting another.
It's the same here.
Why y'all mad again? Like, swimming? I don't care.
Word.
I don't care.
Well, listen, the only time we care about swimming is when the Olympics roll around.
Yeah, like, I can understand bodybuilding. I can understand that at the Olympics. But swimming, you're mad because someone beat you in swimming. That was once a guy. Oh, well, try harder. That's how I said it.
Hey, look, I'm going to just put it simple, dog. Stuff like this, again, just reinforces to me how soft so many people are. How they are soft. Like, it's bad. It is really bad that your sensibilities get offended that easily.
And he wasn't even a good swimmer. As a dude, he was ranked like 500.
Oh, and then the part that I think I love the most, Mase, was the people trying to put up the memes. Oh, she's ranked #1. No, she's not. Just stop. That's easily Googleable. Before you shared that, that is easily Googleable. All you have to do is Google that person ranking. That's it. 3 words. 3 words. But people are so intellectually, I think it comes down to this, Mase. People are so intellectually lazy about stuff that they just want to get mad. They just want to have the emotional reaction. They don't actually want to put the investment into figuring out, is this something I should actually be getting angry about? It's just, let's get angry. Let's yell at somebody. Let's be raging about this thing that I don't actually give a shit about.
It's like sharing anger for no reason. Just because you just want to just be on the group table. More people.
I just had to get it off my chest, man, because people were just losing their damn mind over nothing. Stop it. Fucking swimming.
Facts.
It ain't even an Olympic year, and y'all talking about swimming. Shut up.
I ain't see him get this mad. Motherfuckers out here trying to change election laws, so y'all can shut the hell up to me. If you know how I feel on this, man, it's like they can all shut the hell up to me. Like plain out and simple. The bigotry and like it's just astounding.
You know what? While the red lights are still on, Mrs. Thomas, y'all know who I'm talking about, Jeannie or whatever her name is. Mrs. Thomas out here text messages trying to organize an insurrection. We know who your husband is. We know what job he's got. You trying to? You just gonna take another black dude down with you? You ain't shit. You ain't shit.
Hey, in fairness, Clarence Thomas did that shit to himself. Okay, like that man has long made it clear what team he plays for. Okay. I mean, and if y'all don't know, I understand Clarence Thomas. Y'all know we usually don't shit on black people on this show. We try not to do that, but you know, there's a 4-letter word that I call that starts with a C that he be out there for the white man all the time. So like, okay. Yeah, y'all know what it is. But regardless, Mase is correct though. His madness was a very beautiful, beautiful thing in today's show. Because yes, it was just another reminder of why people need to learn to shut the hell
up. Turn these lights off before I find something else to talk about.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was again a trip into the mind of a madman. That was, ladies and gentlemen, Mase's madness. But we have to move forward here because we have got a few more things on the docket, and I'm trying to get us done with this sooner than later because I've been sitting in front of this damn screen for quite a few hours. But yes, first we have to talk about two things here that aren't really necessarily sports. Well, one of them is, and the other one's not really sports related. But we're going to start here. Over this week, actually, the news popped yesterday that when Triple H went onto Stephen A's World, I believe that was the show we went on. That's Stephen A's show, correct? It's called Stephen A's show.
Stephen A. Yeah.
So he went on there and he made it very official that because of the heart issues that he has been suffering with since the incident happened a few months ago, where it was widely reported that Triple H was having issues with his heart. He is completely done in the ring. He said he has a pacemaker, I believe he said, to his heart now, so he can't really be in the ring risking it like that. And that is very, very big news. I mean, I think we all believed at some point we were going to see another Triple H match, right? But we're not going to see that at this point. That in mind, I know both of you gentlemen were fans of the game over his career. So I have to ask, how does this make you feel to hear about this news from the game?
For me, man, Triple H was another one of those characters that he really like. There's very few wrestlers that you can honestly say like gave you like emotional break. Like you just either you loved him or you hate him. There's very few guys who could really give you that in a character. And Triple H was just another one of those guys who you could like literally carry real world hate for them. Like he got under your skin. So even the Generation X Triple H just made you hate him. Like, you felt Triple H was just, yeah, man. He was another one of those guys who just hit you right in the feels whenever you start talking about them retiring from in-ring action, man, because whether you loved him or you hate him, you had strong feelings about him as a wrestler, about his characters that he portrayed over the years. And it's sad to hear, but hey, man, all of our heroes and villains have to retire sometime.
Darrell, I know you have a long-standing love for the game. So I gotta ask, how do you feel?
And how you play it.
So, how do you feel about this happening here? The game making it official that he's not going to be competing in the ring anymore.
Glad he stopped. So, yeah, any other match he was going to put out was going to be just trash or make him go over or bury somebody. He was the first John Cena before John Cena was out here.
Oh, you mean you don't want to see another him and the Undertaker in Saudi Arabia? You don't want to see that again? You don't want to see the brothers of Destruction versus DX? You don't want that again?
That's like me saying, hey, I want to see Goldberg and Undertaker fight again in Saudi Arabia, even though that was a botch match. Oh my gosh. Shit. Hey, we might as well have freaking Nia Jax and Goldberg and see who botches first.
I'm gonna just let it ride, bro.
Okay.
Because you trying to talk about Triple H, I'm gonna just let it ride.
But anyway, without Triple H, we wouldn't have all these great elimination chambers because he was pretty much the number one person to be winning them elimination chambers for John Cena. So, without elimination chamber, no Triple H. We wouldn't have good WrestleManias without Triple H. His signature one with Booker T, what was it, X8? I think it was X8, right? Am I wrong?
I believe so.
Okay, so I'm
King Booker.
No, he wasn't King Booker then.
I know. Whenever you refer to him, sir, you will refer to him as King Booker.
Then we have the good old WrestleMania 20 match that has been forgotten in the WWE because of Chris Benoit. That was a great match. We can talk about why y'all looking at me in that face. It's forgotten in the WWE. We know that.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just simply saying, that's fucked up.
Bro, shit, I just fucking slobbered over the camera.
Bruh, there is a whole catalog of classic matches that has been wiped out because of him. All right, a whole catalog. Talk about him and Eddie Guerrero. Let's just start there.
We can go to the freaking him and Scott Steiner, how he buried him.
You mean the big bad booty daddy?
Oh yeah, the sirens are coming out too. That was great. we got
a pump.
What we got? We got how many Triple H's do we have? We have My Time Triple H. We got
no, you got to start because technically the first Triple H is Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Oh yeah, the Hunter Hearst Helmsley that got buried by the Ultimate Warrior at that one WrestleMania.
No, he buried himself when he decided he was gonna go out there and be celebrating with his homeboys. Hey, Shawn Michaels could do that because he's champ, but you, my friend, they was getting your ass for that. Okay.
You got the good old SummerSlam freaking match with Shawn Michaels. We got that. That was a good one. You know what? Makes it even sad that Triple H really didn't face none of the NWO. You ever notice that? He didn't face. It was only Rock, Austin. Rock had Hollywood. Austin had Scott Hall. Yeah, that's weak. I just thought about that. He didn't do, anything.
That's because his stuff
they're the
with Triple H. He was with HBK. All his shit was with him.
Man, weak. That's all it was this week. Good old boys. That's what it was. Good old click. The good old click.
Well, while we're here, we might as well hit to it. Darrell's top 5 Triple H moments.
Number 5, when he busted his knee and had to go to surgery.
You take a man's darkest moment and give it a shot.
him limping out the ring, gave that strong ass promo. They had the best comeback in the world, and everybody loved Triple H again. There it goes. That was one. That's number 5.
I promised people I didn't know it was gonna go that way. All right, number 4.
Number 4, Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Great build-up promo. Seth going to NXT, call him out. That was good drama. That was good drama. Triple H drama. Sadly, I'll give the Batista and Triple H storyline because that was great too. Batista pulling out Ric Flair out, getting a little Hunter a little bit mad, trying to get that revenge. You beat up my buddy. Oh, that was good. I'm not even gonna put that on the list, but it was a suggestion. Triple H versus Sting had credible of a good match, but it was a buried match because you had
This
both.
is a troll job. This is a troll job.
I said it's not on the list. I'm still there. I said I'm not putting
the honorable mention, bro.
That was the honorable mention.
You're supposed to give the honorable mentions after you drop the list. What number are we on?
We on 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's number 3. All right, number 3.
How many Orton matches can we say? How many Orton matches can we say for number 3? I get this. Orton when he won the heavyweight title off of Chris Benoit and turned on Triple H. That was probably the best moment because that's when all hell went loose and kicking him out of Evolution. That was one good moment for Triple H, I will say. 1.
Number 2.
Bringing back bringing back Evolution to face the Shield.
Oh my God! I just love how he goes. He's going to all these moments that I'm just gonna scoff at. Like, ugh. Like, he doesn't even go to the good Triple H stuff. He goes to the trash, throw it out stuff. Like, come on, man, why are you doing this to me?
Number 1, CM Punk versus Triple H. Yeah, I said it. That was great.
I'm done with him. Like I said, this is a troll job.
You couldn't even give us one degeneration. You couldn't give us the circuits to Vince McMahon. You couldn't give us the
because that was Spirit Squad. I'm not freaking saying, hey, Triple H, you had a good moment with the Spirit Squad with DX. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Come on. You think I was gonna say, hey, Dolph Ziggler when he was back to being fat and everything else, I said it again. Dolph Ziggler was a jobber. He was a Spirit Squad. You want me to freaking say, hey, Kenny was a good wrestler too? Oh, I can put my legs back and jump for a leg drop for my finisher. Yes, I am saying it. Spirit Squad were the best jobber tag team stable of all time for Triple H.
How did this happen? This is supposed to be a moment to celebrate Triple H, and this is what it's become.
Triple H has used his power so long. He was the smart one. He took the opportunity. He said, I'll leave China. I'm getting Stephanie. And you know what? I'm going to have a power couple. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to Jeff Jarrett to WWE. That's what he did. Yeah, I said it. He Jeff Jarrett to WWE. No one gets over on me. I get over on them. See, look at Mick Foley. Mick Foley's not the way he is right now because of Triple H. Let's be honest. Go ahead. If without Triple H, what is Mick Foley? I'll wait. Anybody?
WWE Hall of Famer?
Oh, that's it. How's he Hall of Fame? Falling off a cage?
I mean, he did win the WWE title and the hardcore title. And I believe the European title. I don't know if he won the IC. And he's a multiple-time tag champion with one of the most legendary teams ever, the Rock and Sock Connection. You ain't going to disrespect my man, Mick Foley. You ain't going to do that. You're not going to do that.
We don't do that around here. Cactus Jack, Dude
Yeah.
love.
Yo, he banged.
Bang!
He banged with Triple H in that Hell in a Cell, and he looked like a freaking sock after that. You know?
Hey, Mick did it for all of us.
Hey, that was the year of 2000. What was it? The Royal Rumble, he got scraped, and then No Way Out, he got scraped even more. So hey,
How many other wrestlers have gotten to have 3 spots in the Royal Rumble? How many?
3 spots in the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
don't
in
you
that-
remember? Don't you remember when he came in as Mankind, and then came back as Dude Love, and then came back as Cactus Jack, all in the same Rumble?
Shit, Rey Mysterio could have did the same damn thing.
Stop! You stop that! You stop that right now. Speaking of Rey Mysterio, we can talk about this, man.
Filthy animal Rey Mysterio.
I just want to
Mass
say,
Rey Mysterio.
I appreciated that the Miz took his mask off. I appreciated that. I applauded it, as a matter of fact.
Why, you getting tired of the mask? You want him back to filthy
Bruh,
animal
I've
Mysterio?
been tired of Rey Mysterio, period, bruh. Go home, old man.
Yo, Mase, we want filthy animal Rey Mysterio when he was dancing with Conan in Disco Inferno. Yo, you know what?
Oh, who made you this way, bro?
You know when we're gonna put Ahmed Johnson in the Hall of Fame?
All right, I'm done with him. See, this is what I'm done with him. This is why I said it was a troll job.
See, man, we get you let him out the cage, and this is what happens. You gave him a spot with the top 5, and this is what you get. You know what I'm saying?
try and give a nigga some shine, and this is what I get paid.
You know what? Let's take D'Lo Brown from freaking TNA and put him in the Hall of Fame. You know,
D'Lo should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, D'Lo Brown should.
You ain't gonna speak disrespectful about D'Lo from Chicago, baby. You ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, you know what? He was the cause of what's his face being crippled too.
Who?
The one guy.
Come on, Dries? Whatever his name is.
Yeah, caused that man to be crippled, paralyzed. He's done.
Hey man, it happens sometimes in wrestling, dog.
Oh yeah. So ask AJ Styles with the other guy when he did the Styles clash. Broke his neck.
I can't with him. Mase, moving on here. Okay, moving on. The Lakers season has been god awful, but I think it's hit an all-time low at this point with their game tomorrow, meaning, well, technically be today because the show is going to be released on a Sunday, but their game with the Pelicans has a huge ramifications here, because if the Lakers lose this game to the Pelicans, then for all intents and purposes, the season's basically done for them, right? If both teams ended up finishing in the exact same ways and they went out, this would give the Pelicans the advantage and they would end up getting the play-in spot. So Mase, I have to ask you, at this point, seeing as bad as everything's gotten, is this an all-time low, knowing that a Pelicans team who hasn't had their best player for the majority of the season is doing better than your Lakers?
At this point, man, give me Swaggy P back, man. Give me that Laker team back, because this is god awful. You can't.
You don't mean that. You don't mean that.
Yeah, you're
my name.
right now.
Listen, bro, my gamer tag is Swaggy Mase. Don't act like I got that out of thin air.
Hey, that's the Lakers' hope in thin air.
But man, this is so crazy to me to think that this team, who we obviously, I had my reservations going into the season, the way the team was constructed, but I would have never thought that they would be in a virtual dogfight with the New Orleans Pelicans for the play-in spot in the Western Conference. If somebody would have told me that, given the way this team was constructed, that was going to be their ultimate end game, was trying to make it in the play-in spot, I probably would have laughed at them and be like, okay, at worst, 6th seed. Worst. I thought that. We knew Anthony Davis was going to miss some time. We knew they weren't going to be.
Sir, call him his proper name.
Street Clothes. Sorry. We knew Street Clothes was going to be on the bench. We knew this team wasn't going to be very dynamic offensively, but you had to think that they could at least pull out the 6th seed. Like you can't say that there were still 6 or 7 teams better than them in the West.
Wait,
you still couldn't do it. As bad as we thought this team was going to be, you still couldn't do it on good faith. But to sit here and say that now they're in a dogfight with the Pelicans for the play-in spot, terrible.
You forgot one more person. You forgot your all-star, your Westbrook. Keep you to the top. What are you talking about? Westbrook.
Westbrook?
No, y'all weren't calling them Westbrook in the beginning of the season. That's all I'm saying.
Was it?
Boy, he keep with this y'all. I wonder who this y'all is.
Yeah. Hey,
who that is.
Pull the tape because he been Westbrook for a minute. But man, it's so crazy to me to think that they are in this position to miss the playoffs to a team that nobody really thought much of. I mean, just straight up, nobody thought much of the Pelicans. Zion's a good story. We want Zion to be good. We thought we thought he may come back and play and give the team a spark, but nobody thought that the Pelicans and the Lakers would be in a heated battle for the play-in spot. Nobody, you couldn't write that. You couldn't write that in a script and sell that to anybody. Like you couldn't write that. You couldn't do it.
How does it feel to know as a Lakers fan that statistically you guys have wasted one of LeBron James' greatest years ever?
It's nuts. It's completely nuts to me. And you know what this is? I can go back to Charles Barkley saying that this season is all on street clothes, and he was not wrong. He said it didn't matter what LeBron did. It didn't matter what Westbrook did. This team has to jump on it. I almost said it's wrong. I almost said the improper name. If this season is on street clothes, he is the one player on the team in the prime. He's in the prime time, those prime ages. He's still the young guy on the team. He should be able to carry the load, and the only thing he can carry is a suitcase with more street clothes in it.
He's carrying the bench for y'all. What are you talking about, man?
He keeping LeBron's seat warm for him for those few minutes that he gets to rest, because y'all are over here. I can't stress this enough. Y'all are overworking an aging superstar, and this is going to turn out horribly for you, for us as Laker fans. Like we saw it happen already. Y'all know what's gonna happen.
The faster we get LeBron out, the better. That's all I'm gonna say.
Y'all know what's gonna happen. We seen this. We've seen this before. We know what's gonna happen.
Hey, street clothes. It's on him. Yeah, his words are spoken.
It's crazy to me to think that Frank Vogel's on the hot seat, that other guys in the coaching staff, that other players are being blamed for the Lakers' struggles, but it's really all on Anthony Davis. And once we saw the way that this team was constructed, we knew Anthony Davis was going to be the reason we won or lost in some capacity. And the fact that he has been injured more than he's been on the court this year, the fact that when he was on the court for a long stretch of time, he was playing terribly. You got to blame him. I'm as bad as Westbrook was this season. We knew what it was when he got to the team. We knew that he was, like I said, Uncle Shay said it right, man. He's the girl that everybody wants until they got him.
At the end of the day, this season comes down to street clothes being in street clothes all the time, because they were still in a position, with as bad as things have been, they were still in a playoff position. And the fact that he has not been there to play has completely crippled all of their chances to be a successful team this year. So this season is 100% on Mr. Street Clothes Davis. So we will see if things can get turned around for them next year. But this season is a wash at this point. Even if they end up by somehow the Pelicans fall on their face in these last couple games and the Lakers somehow manage to scrape it out, right? They're getting swept out in 4 games. We all know that they're not winning a game in the playoffs.
Worst case scenario is I don't see how we would, but running up into the Grizzlies and they just running y'all out of the gym for 4 straight.
It doesn't matter who they play.
Yeah, like I said,
anybody they play is running them out in 4 games.
That would be my worst case scenario as a Lakers fan, is to somehow run up into the Grizzlies and get ran out the gym for 4 straight games. Because
shoot, think about it this way: at this point, you're going to run into the Suns. The Suns is about to buzzsaw y'all again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The Suns is angry right now.
Mm-hmm. Devin Booker is
angry,
he's tired of the disrespect. That man wants his name talked about in the best of the NBA. He's sick of that. But I can't blame him. He's balling out of control.
This man has stepped in and become the point guard of the team and been balling. The team hasn't fell off one bit without Chris Paul.
It's kind of wild that way. It's kind of wild. But I can't, I do wonder what it'll be for them in the playoffs if Chris Paul cannot play for them. Like, if he can't play for them, period, the playoffs is going to turn into a different animal when they end up playing a team like Memphis or something like that. Or even at this point, when they end up playing Denver or Dallas, at some point, you're going to need that other dude that can go get you a bucket. Dallas is probably the lower end on that list for me because they still really, really just rely
They're
on
really Luka dependent,
that's
man.
it. And when he has bad games, they're ugly. So I can't really believe in that team too much. But yeah, they run into Utah, they run into Denver. It might be a problem for them. Hell, they run into Golden State in the shape that they're currently in, and it still might end up being a problem for them. So we'll see how that all ends up shaking out. But we have to close out on one final thing here, and I know some people have been kind of this is another thing that people got themselves all angry about and a tussy about. But the Disney animators were willing to strike here because of things that they felt were being censored in the movies that they were trying to put in, and how they wanted to put in same-sex moments into some of these Disney films now, and that some of that stuff was being cut out, so we're willing to walk out of the door for it. It's been reported both ways that there's been reports that said that they're not going to put the stuff back in and that they're also putting it back in. Who knows? I guess we'll see when the movie comes out, right? Because a lot of this centers around Buzz Lightyear. But again, this is something where I must say to people, if you are that angry about this, you need to find something better to do with your life, because you shouldn't be that angry about it. Because I can tell you something, as a straight man, I saw gay people when I was a kid. It had no effect on me. It didn't make me be like, oh my goodness, I want to be gay now. You know what I mean? So all this fear mongering that people do, it's quite outrageous to me. So
that's
I just want to say again, your lives are sad.
Craziest stuff to me, bro. Like, I'm not gonna jump on the soapbox. This ain't my madness, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it blows my mind that we are so upset with people being comfortable with homosexuality, with transgenders. Like, you
just say it for him, Mase. Get a life. Just say it.
It's so crazy to me to think that we want to not be comfortable with these people in society. Like, why? What are they doing to you? What are they doing to you? What are they doing to your children? Or is it teaching your children to accept people for who they are? Is it teaching your children to be homosexual? That you think that's a bad thing? There's a lot worse things in the world to be than homosexual. You could be a rapist. You could be a murderer.
A racist.
There are so many more terrible things to be in this world than homosexual or transgender, that it's wild to me that rapists can get second chances, that mass murderers can get second chances, racists can be on TV, they can have TV shows, but yet because somebody wanted to be a man, somebody wanted to be a woman, and they weren't born that way. Somehow they need to be shunned by society, or maybe you know what? Their best friend growing up, they found out that they liked him. Is that so bad? Come on,
I just want to put it to you this way, plain out and simple, right? A lot of these same people, they get very, very upset and angry about these things. They get all up in a tussy. They're the same people that support an organization that has covered up massive amounts of pedophilia. I mean, if you don't see the hypocrisy in it all, I don't know what to tell you at this point, which is why I tell you, y'all's lives is that sad and pathetic. You need to do more better and get something right. Like get a hobby, do something, like find something you actually like and put your energy into that. Because I promise you this, your life will be way better than sitting here getting enraged about people just trying to live their lives and be comfortable and be happy. This world is hard enough to be happy. Let people live their life because it ain't got no effect on you. Hell, think about it with this movie. If you don't want your kid to see it, guess what? As a parent, guess what choice you have? You don't have to show your kid the movie. You don't have to. You don't have to. It's a choice. Putting that movie on for your child is an active. It's you are literally actively making the choice. So do not complain to me about it. If you don't like it, cool. Don't watch the movie. But I don't need to hear your fucking bigotry. I don't need to hear it. You can keep that to yourself. I'm cool. But sorry to end it on a note like that. But ladies and gentlemen, that was another episode of ITC Sportsball. Mase, tell the people where to find you at.
Twitter, funky_stuff09. Check me out. Instagram, Nindime Summer, or twitch.tv/SwaggyMase.
And then, of course, Mr. Low Janitor himself. Tell the people where to find you.
Everywhere. Low Janitor. That's how it's gonna be. That's my new name. That's my new name.
Getting rid of the Alvarez effect.
Yeah, I didn't even understand the Alvarez effect, to be honest with you. I mean,
and
Fight Night Champion.
Kills. He's getting rid of them all. He just said low elo.
Oh no. I'm not changing my Xbox. I'm not changing the Xbox.
You're not gonna change it to low Janitor?
No.
Microsoft give you a free name change, bro. You got it.
That was my free name change. That was my
what was your name before Suicide Kills did?
Suicide Kills was my second account. My first account was like Cash Kills. Yeah, like
had something with murder, bro. I don't know what his deal is.
Well, Suicide Kills is catchy. You kids, come on now.
I've had some names.
Also very morbid.
Yeah. No, I don't like to call you by Suicide Kills. Okay.
I mean, it's super morbid. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that's super. Like you got problems, my boy. All right, that's all I'm gonna tell you.
As how wrong it sounds, there's lots of people that do suicide. I'm not going to get touchy about
this conversation with him.
He's
not doing this. He's not luring me into this. Y'all know where to find me at J Span the Man everywhere. You either see the ITC logo or you'll see my prettiest face. That's right, prettiest face on ITC, baby.
That's a lie.
Hey,
you tell a lie every Saturday. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, I'm proving differently. Hey. Prettiest face on ITC. Hey,
put up a poll on Facebook. Who's the most handsomest MF on the show? Put the poll up.
He doesn't want that.
I mean, technically, you have access to do that too, so you put that poll up.
Put the poll up.
All right,
put it on YouTube as well. Put the poll up.
You can put that poll up.
I'm putting the gauntlet down right now. Put the poll up.
And you heard me though. You got control to put it up too. I ain't got time for it. But yes, people, again, this was another episode of your favorite weekly sports show. That is ITC.
Put that
Sportsball. Oh my God, he's so petty. He's so petty.